Saturday the 4th of April. Now, using a story to illustrate a point can open our eyes to the truths about ourselves in a non-threatening way. And Jesus was excellent at doing this. Now, Jesus used parables to illustrate a point. A simple story used to illustrate a moral or a spiritual lesson. So whether you are a comedian or a preacher, stories help to keep our attention. Whether it is true, whether it's fictional, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the listener becomes immersed in the story and is transformed through its implication. A Christian short story taps into our passion or our passions and is stored in our memory. Now, Charles Bronin was a French tightrope walker and he was an acrobat. And this morning I'd just like to give a very small account of something that he achieved in his life. It's a true story and a wonderful illustration of faith. Charles was a fascinating man, and for many reasons. He caught the attention of the general public, and his fame became so great that even Abraham Lincoln made reference to Charles in one of his speeches. But Charles is probably best remembered for his tightrope walk across Niagara Falls. Now, walking a tightrope across Niagara Falls was a feat in itself, but Charles Blondin went one step further and pushed a wheelbarrow across the falls. Now, can you just imagine it? A tightrope stretched over a quarter of a mile and spanning the breadth of Niagara. The thundering sound of the pounding water, drowning out all other sounds. As you stood there and watched a man on a tightrope walk across. This was a stunning feat made by Charles Blondin in the summer of 1859. He walked 160 feet above the falls, several times back and forth between Canada and the United States. We are told that huge crowds gathered on both sides and they looked on with astonishment. And Blondin walked backwards across the tightrope to Canada, and he returned pushing a wheelbarrow. The story is told that after pushing a wheelbarrow, actually he was blindfolded at the time, that Blondin asked for some audience participation. The crowd were buoyed up. They wanted more. He had proven that he could do it. What was he going to do next? But now he was asking for a volunteer to get in the wheelbarrow and take a ride across the falls with him. He stood there and he said to the audience, "Do you believe I can carry a person in this wheelbarrow?" "Yes!" the crowd shouted. "Yes!" They all believed. It was then that Blondin posed the question, "Who will get in this wheelbarrow?" When he asked the question, could he do it, they all said yes. But when he asked for a volunteer, they all said no. The tightrope walk across Niagara Falls is a true story, and it provides us with a picture of faith. It paints a real life picture of what faith actually is. The crowd had watched his daring feats. They said they believed, but their actions proved it was too much of a cost for them to be directly involved. It is one thing for us to say that we believe in God, but true faith is when we believe in God and put our faith and trust in his Son, Jesus Christ. In Psalm 56, the psalmist writes, "Whenever I am afraid, I will trust you." And our focus for today comes from Proverbs chapter 3, and the first 6 verses. My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, and so find favour and high esteem in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Well, everyone, have a wonderful day, and remember to put your trust in Jesus.